Where are all the good men dead? In the heart or in the head? From my hometown, which I did not abandon to become an assassin, this is Debaser, a film podcast. I'm Jared Rusk, and I'm joined by my friend and co-host, Will Taylor.
Did you say where?
Flub.
What do you mean?
At the beginning? And you said where are all the good men dead?
Yeah.
It's not why are all the good men dead?
No, it's where. In the heart or in the head.
Oh.
It's the location.
Fuck, I'm so sorry. I was like, damn, he fucked that up already. I'm so sorry. I don't know the fucking song.
It's okay. Okay, she is quoting Shakespeare, but she's paraphrasing it.
Oh, it's the radio lady. Okay.
Yeah.
I watched the movie.
Minnie Driver.
I swear to God, I watched the movie.
On this show, we explore both new and familiar movies as we bring you details and discussion about them, all in an effort to debase the films and ourselves. Today's episode, another dive into the genre of romantic comedy, albeit with a large dose of action and dark humor in the John Cusack Gen X classic, Grosse Pointe Blank. Stay tuned.
You gotta kick it off with a killer to grab attention. Then you gotta take it up a notch.
The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us.
Who are you? I'm Shiva, the god of death.
Cells.
Interlinked.
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
I'm so sorry, dude.
It's okay.
I forgot the quote. It's been a week, and my brain is much.
Yeah,
I got
no
a lot
kidding.
of shit going on in my head. That's my bad.
I just latched on. I saw an opportunity to bully and I took it.
Yeah, well, it's my birthday and I was right. So
Yeah, you're gonna get double teamed for your birthday, baby.
Folks, welcome back to Debaser. I'm very happy to say that we are honored to have a special guest with us today. Friend of the pod, past and future guest, my lovely wife, Kourtney.
Hello.
Hello, Kourtney.
Hi.
Hi.
It's good to be here.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
Will's also here.
Glaze. Glaze. Just kidding. I like it when Courtney's here too.
It's always good to have someone else to bounce off of.
It's true.
Yeah, especially my lovely wife who won't attack me on this episode, right?
I won't do it.
Will not gang up on me when a perceived flub is made, but actually I was right.
Flub.
We're just hungry for flubs.
It's true.
Well, look at him. Not me.
Yeah, you're.
I know. It's gonna be all me today.
Also, we're recording on my birthday. Give me a break.
Okay. Happy
Go easy on me.
birthday.
I'm the birthday boy. You can't be mean to me.
Okay.
How's that song go? It's your birthday, Ricky Bobby. Happy birthday. Not Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Baker.
Ricky Baker.
Oh,
Ricky Baker. Oh, is that the same song? Hold on.
it's your birthday. Hold on.
Oh, man.
I threw you guys off. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
Once rejected, now accepted.
By me and William.
It's so good.
Cut it.
No, keep it in, dude. Shout out to The Wilder People by Taika Waititi, right?
Such a good movie.
Yeah, it's really good.
Hunt for the Wilder People.
Hunt for
That's
the
the full
Wilder People.
title.
Thank you,
Yeah,
yes.
with Sam Neill.
Yes.
And that kid was just in. He's in the
He's in
Godzilla.
Y2K.
He's in the Godzilla.
Oh, he's in Y2K? Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
gets killed off really early.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Oh,
I know
hate
it
that.
sucks. Actually,
Seen any good movies lately? Will?
yeah. Do you want me to shout out Smile 2?
You know, I hear it's actually cool.
It's fantastic.
It's
It's really
It does some
good.
neat stuff, right?
Yeah, I don't mean to derail from the movie that we're actually talking
No.
about.
We're it's okay.
Okay.
This is preamble.
So,
Riffing.
you know how we like to talk about how horror as a genre usually like puts asses in seats. You know, you can film them for very little money comparatively to other films, and then they usually gross way more back.
Right, yeah.
So Smile 1 was a $17 million budget, and it grossed $217 million.
Yeah, it's a Blumhouse, right? That's like his whole formula. Oh, it's not.
No,
Oh,
it's not.
okay.
This was Paramount and some other studio. Blumhouse was not connected at all.
Wow.
Written and directed by just some guy.
It gave Blumhouse vibes. in
It
the
does,
trailer.
yeah, it does. And so like it made a killing, right? So
Yeah,
of course they give him a sequel. He puts one out 2 years later. $28 million budget makes $176 million. So not as good as the first one on a higher budget, but as far as like the movie goes, it's crazy how much better this second movie was with only $11 million in the tank. Naomi Scott, fantastic in that role. She's doing everything. And like what sold me on it was I saw the final scene where the monster is, doing its thing to Naomi Scott. And like, yeah, it's definitely someone's thinly veiled fetish on screen. But it was like grotesque. The whole movie is really grotesque, and it's shot really well. I really enjoyed it. It's fucking stupid how much I enjoyed that shit ass movie.
I also hear in terms of like horror sequels that were shockingly good. The first Omen was like apparently really, really good.
Oh yeah.
And it's like I don't know, like the 5th or 6th Omen movie. There's been like a ton since the 70s, I think.
Yeah.
But apparently it's really, really good. And the director is like a bright up and coming director and was just handed this franchise, to make a prequel.
And they knocked it out of the park.
They really ran with it.
That's good
really
shit.
did some stuff. Yeah. So I want to check both of those out. Outside of that, I don't know if I did watch anything else, man, because it's. I like binged for our best of special.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of like cooled down after
Did you watch Nora?
No, not yet.
I wish I did.
I did.
How was it?
I didn't finish it because it's also a really long movie, and I put it on a whim at like 11 o'clock at night, and I couldn't.
Yeah.
But it reminded me so much of Uncut Gems and its freneticism. Like, you know how Uncut Gems has got...
Did it remind you of Pretty Woman?
I've never seen Pretty Woman.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
So no.
Joke's going
I'm
right
so sorry.
over your head.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
But I understand like the concept is some rich guy picks up a sex worker and whatever.
It turns their life around. Yeah.
That's more or less the same, but like if it was bad, like the situation,
if it goes really bad.
Yeah. But like Uncut Gems has got, 3 different conversations happening all at once, and it's like organized chaos.
Yeah.
It's very much the similar thing. It captures young, frenzied infatuation really well, and then just kind of makes it a car wreck, with forces that are outside of a person's control. I did watch somebody talk about how, because I didn't realize that was the director of Florida Project and Tangerine.
Sean Baker. Yeah.
Sean Baker, yeah. And apparently the movie is a parable to independent filmmakers, where Sean Baker is Honora or Annie, and they are kind of controlled by outside forces beyond their thing. Like she does the thing that she does to get money, to give herself some like freedom, right? Mm-hmm. But if you make the oligarch's son a big movie production company, you must do what they say. Mm-hmm. They are in control of your life because they control the money, right? It was really good. Like there's so much stuff going on there, and I like Sean Baker as a director. Apparently, he's got some dubious likes on the internet.
I've seen his movies. Yeah, I can figure it out.
Well, no. Like, you can cut this out. He likes IDF babes. Like, he follows IDF babes on Twitter. I guess like other things too.
Yeah.
So like,
people in Hollywood are Zionists. You're kidding?
Oh, that's fucking. You think that a guy who's like, from what I understand, like, has a good head on his shoulders when it comes to like class consciousness and the struggles of everyday people wouldn't fucking support, Israel. But
I mean, there's a reason Palestine is still controversial, and that movie No Other Land that just won an Oscar has not been picked up for distribution. You can't see it.
It's fucking crazy. Yeah. But anyways, I like his movies, and especially because like, we're from Florida. We covered the Florida Project.
Yeah.
And I like the stories he's trying to tell, and I like his struggle. I resonate with it, and it's good to see him get recognition on the big stage, if you will.
Yeah, it's huge.
I mean, 2 nights ago, as of this recording, Honora won Best Picture.
Oh, did it? Yeah. I actually had no idea what won Big Picture. I know she won Best Actress. I brought it up because she won.
She won Best Actress too. Yeah,
but cool, good for them.
People really thought it was going to be the Brutalist, but Honora beat it. Yeah.
That's tight.
Adrian Brody did win Best Actor.
I saw that, and he had a long, stupid speech or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's okay. All right.
Sorry.
What? No, it's okay.
It was like a long screed of stupid
No, it was good.
I'm just a little apprehensive about him winning for that because they used AI.
Oh yeah, no, he shouldn't have.
Yeah,
I agree.
Do you think he has like a complex about it now? I mean, he already has one.
I mean, he won the Oscar. There's nothing else to.
But now it's like, how much of me is it?
Yeah, like, I don't know if he's actually spoken out on it because I know the director tried to like minimize it, but.
Yeah, I saw an NPR article just today that was like, it's only when they're speaking Hungarian though.
Yeah,
like trying to make it
right. So for people listening that don't have context, it came out that the sound editor for The Brutalist used an AI tool to improve Adrian Brody and who's the actress that plays his wife in the film?
I don't know. I haven't even gotten to his wife. I haven't finished the movie.
Okay, well, it escapes my memory what her name is. Will's going to check it out.
Yeah,
but
I gotcha.
they speak Hungarian a lot in the movie, and they weren't happy with how their accent came off on the film, so they used an AI tool to like improve it. And it's been controversial because a lot of people were unhappy when they heard about that. And like, yes, you can.
Felicity Jones plays
the wife. Thank you. You can compartmentalize it and say like, oh, well, it's just a small use. It didn't really affect the movie. But like, to me, the biggest issue is like, number one, it affected the performance because like they altered the actors' performances with AI. And number two, like, even if it's just a small use, this is how AI is creeping into our lives. Like, this is how it happens. And like, I feel like not enough people have been mad about this, even though so many people were in the onset of AI creeping into our lives. People were like, you have to stop it everywhere. And it's like, people are just being too accepting of it, I think, because they're like, oh, I didn't notice it. And okay, well, by the time you will start noticing it, it's going to be too late. Like we have to push back now.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a fight we're going to win. So that's why I just kind of feel defeated about it.
I'll die on this hill. I don't like AI.
Yeah.
It
They can
fucking
fuck
sucks. Yeah, I know. Get Copilot off my phone. Get it all. Get it away from me.
Silly.
Well, speaking of things I'd like to assassinate.
Great segue.
For this week, as you probably can tell from the title of this episode, we watched the 1997 classic, Grosse Pointe Blank. And that's with 2 E's at the end of those words.
Grosse Pointe Blank.
Blanky. It's true.
This film was released on April 11th, 1997. It is available on VOD. Not streaming anywhere, unfortunately. It is a Disney movie, but it's not on Disney+.
I could have purchased it. You can rent it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's available on VOD.
Oh,
you can
gotcha.
rent or
Sorry.
buy it anywhere.
That was what it
video
was.
on demand. Yeah.
And I was like,
that's what
fuck,
that
I want
means.
to fucking
No.
$5.
No,
I know.
Okay,
You got me.
okay.
But it just, I remember like pulling it up on a whim and being like, we're not even talking about this for like 3 weeks. Why am I doing this?
It had like a very generic Blu-ray come out like 10 years ago. And I'm waiting for like a really cool special edition.
Yeah.
And it's been kind of like forgotten about. I feel like Disney has been neglecting their like Buena Vista Pictures label. So I need them to get back on that because High Fidelity has a good...
Dude, you know that they love keeping that stuff in the vault, baby.
Exactly. They're keeping it in the vault. Yeah. But I think they're also a little... I don't know. Disney's kind of like Alien Romulus is on Disney Plus now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Like they're kind of warming up to put an R-rated movie.
They got a lot of
Yeah.
Yeah, I
weird
noticed because
shit
they
on
used
there.
to draw the line in America. It was like all the R-rated stuff goes to Hulu, and then all the kid-friendly stuff goes to Disney Plus. And now they're just kind of like,
I think they're
whatever,
trying to
and they just merged
consolidate.
it. Yeah,
They're trying to consolidate the Hulu
But
app into the.
Can't have a transgender character. We gotta cut
No,
that
yeah,
out.
we cut that out.
Make
Yeah,
him Christian. Actually,
oh, this is Trump's America. I love the representation.
Yep, we gotta.
We don't see enough Christians
No.
in our everyday life.
We need more
They're-
Christians in media.
They are a marginalized group, and we need to protect them.
As a Christian. Just kidding.
So the film stars John Cusack, Minnie Driver, Joan Cusack, Dan Aykroyd, and Jeremy Piven. The premise is a professional assassin, Martin Blank, is sent on a mission to a small Detroit suburb, Grosse Pointe, where, by coincidence, his 10-year high school reunion party is about to take place. The film was directed by George Armitage, who sadly passed away just a few weeks ago on February 15th. Yeah, it was just a coincidence, too, because we'd already decided to do this.
Damn, that's crazy.
Rest in peace, George. The film's story was written by Tom Jankiewicz, and the screenplay is credited to Tom, D.V. DeVentis, Steve Pink, and John Cusack. The latter three are high school buds and writing partners who also wrote the screenplay for our previous film, High Fidelity.
Oh, no shit. That's cool.
So they were connected. And other than the John Cusack connection, I didn't realize the extent of the connection between these two movies. I just thought they were both like classic John Cusack films from around the same time period. Any guesses as to the budget from either of you?
Oh.
Fuck. You know what's sad? I looked it up.
Oh, no.
So you already know.
No, I don't know it now.
Oh,
It was a
okay.
week ago. I can't remember what happened yesterday. So no.
Well, it's 1997.
Yeah, what's your guess?
No, Will, you're getting.
I don't
pretty-
know what movies
I know.
cost back then
This
because
is a thing
they
that
make
Will and
so
I
much
do.
now that
Yeah, I know they're so overinflated
what
now.
I don't know, 17 million.
thank you so much for like giving me credit for getting better at this.
No, absolutely.
Okay, so I think it's going to be a little bit more than that. And here's the reason why. There's action sequences in this film.
And all of the needle drops. Those cost money.
That's true. Yeah. So I'm going to go.
That's why I think High Fidelities was so inflated. Yeah.
If I was a betting man,
17.
I would say 30, but I think it would probably be 47.
Way overshot it.
Oh, damn it.
Kourtney was only off by 2.
Shit, you're kidding me. It was
over
19?
Or under?
Over. It's 15.
15? You're kidding me.
15 mil.
Fuck, that's crazy.
It was 1997. You guys are overthinking
Well, yeah,
this.
no, but
No, because now it's like $48 million.
Action scenes were not that well rehearsed. They're not full of quick cuts like John Wick films are now.
Mm-hmm.
And the needle drops were also a lot cheaper. Music licensing was not as insane as it is now. And also it's a lot of like indie alternative music. And so at the time, weren't super popular, easy to license.
Weren't they using squibs though? Like I know that a lot of the reason why practical effects don't get used anymore is because they're more expensive than CGI. That's why we have CGI blood and whatnot.
Well, that and stunt performers are expensive and time on set, but also you're doing lots of quick cuts for these new action scenes that people started doing in like the early 2000s and stuff. This movie actually, if you notice, like
the fight scene between
it's a long,
Martin,
relatively long takes,
and it's the two. It's just
and
them.
It's
you
not,
can see John Cusack's face in that fight,
right?
Yeah.
And it's not that highly choreographed, and also a lot of the guys that John's grappling with are themselves stunt performers playing the actors.
Oh, okay.
I'll get into that a little later in the trivia section.
Gotcha.
But so they this was how it was done back then, and it wasn't that expensive. It was done a lot more efficiently. I think
they fooled me. You gave me accolades, and now I've flushed it down the toilet.
But we don't. We haven't hit a lot of mid '90s movies.
That's true. We haven't talked a lot of '90s.
Yeah,
films.
and this was
we haven't done Starship Troopers yet. That kind of stuff. Although
this was a pretty cheap film even for its time. Like it wasn't low budget, but it wasn't like a major blockbuster where they're just throwing money at the screen. And we'll get into some more interesting stuff too about how it was shot later.
This did come out the same year as Starship Troopers. That's kind of crazy.
It did.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Titanic and The Lost World.
And it came out the same month as Buena Vista Pictures' other high school reunion movie, Romeo and Michelle's High School Reunion.
That is such a fun movie.
I've never seen that.
You guys would like it. It's really fun.
Oh, I know I like it because I saw it as a child. I love that movie.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So it grossed it. The budget was $15 million. It grossed $31 million.
Okay.
Oh,
I was
we were kind of
Yeah. Now, I think this is most people's favorite John Cusack movie, but I was kind of shocked by how kind of low the Rotten Tomato score was, especially because High Fidelities was like 89 or 91. Grosse Pointe Blank has it at 82 on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's
that would
pretty
be higher.
good.
That's good, but I thought it'd be higher because people have a really high reverence for this movie.
I've never seen it until last week.
Yeah. You and your wife don't like John Cusack though,
No,
right?
no. I do.
Okay.
I think he's charming.
Yeah,
and I think he's
yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
I like him.
I think this is the movie too where he is it's cranked to 11, even though he's playing a psychopath.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's so charming that Martin is obviously
Troubled.
troubled.
Yeah.
And you're like, I hope he gets the girl.
Exactly. And it's half the charm of the movie because John Cusack wins you over no matter what. You never
Easily.
lose him. Even when you learn that he's an assassin and he's killing people, blah, 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 you're still on his side. But also what a lot of critics complained about was it's muddy and it's satire because it's trying to say this guy is bad and he has, I know. But if you think about it, he's a bad person. He almost admits basically to Minnie Driver's character that he is a psychopath.
That's the joke.
That's the joke.
No, I know.
And did it go over their heads or something? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to smack the
No,
table.
it's okay.
Did it go over their fucking heads?
Will's getting heated.
Yeah, because sorry, I know we're going to talk about the plot of this film and whatnot, but I'm going to be honest with you, and I've been saving this line since I watched it. They don't make them like they used to anymore. They definitely don't make movies like this anymore.
Yeah, I literally said the same
I'm
thing
mad you
last
got
night.
to it first because that's everybody I show this movie to says that, and it's unprompted because they literally don't make it like this anymore.
It's such an absurd idea, right? I can see the pitch for this. All right. Some guy has to go to his 10-year, high school reunion, and he meets the love of his life from the past. But plot twist, He's a murderer. He's a high contract killer. How do we, blah 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 blah, that kind of dumb shit, right? It's the South Park joke. Rob Schneider is, whatever. But like it's clearly like a silly. It's supposed to be a silly movie. There's not any kind of like deep, conversations that need to be had here. It's just an absurd idea, and the absurdity is the fucking joke. Every time people ask him, what have you been doing? What do you do? Oh, I kill people.
I'm a professional assassin.
Yeah, I'm a professional assassin. And they're like,
he says it three times to three different people, and they all think it's a joke.
Exactly, because I guess I think he had a reputation in high school of being like this meek guy, right? So you can't imagine this baby faced. Like I know he's like in his late 20s, early 30s.
I think he's canonically supposed to be 28, and I think he was close to that at the time.
Right, but I mean, John Cusack has like a baby's face, you know?
Right.
So you can't imagine this like skinny, small, smooth-featured man being a contract killer. That's the fucking joke. If it went over your head as a critic, I don't know what to tell you, bud.
I know.
You're stupid.
I felt the same way reading through the Rotten Tomatoes. Well, yeah, no, it was Rotten Tomatoes. And like Ebert didn't like it.
I was going to say Ebert famously trashed it. He gave it a 2.5 because he's like, I wanted to like this movie, but I don't think it pulls off the satire well enough. Yeah. And he also hates that it ended in a gunfight.
Oh, okay. I do agree with him that the ending is like insanely abrupt. Like, whatchamacallit, they kill Hank Azaria.
Yes, and
right?
they're just gone. They're
two
just
feds.
Yeah, they bust through the door, and the two guys just shoot them, and then they're about to have their final shoot off, but they both know that they're out of ammo, and all he does is grab a fucking TV and smash it over the head, and that's it. And then he proposes to what's her name, and then roll credits. Like it ends so fucking fast.
Well, some background on that: they shot 3 different endings. That was the shortest one because they got a note to be like, "What if you just cut to them driving away happily after that scene?" And they were like, let's go with that. And they thought that was the best ending. There are other endings.
Gotcha.
They've never been released as like extras on a DVD because like I really think they should, because apparently there is a lot of footage that got edited
left on
out and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll just hit it now. They shot every scene in this movie 3 different ways.
You're kidding me.
They shot one super
worth
close.
$17 million too.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I was
but
going to say like
movie making was a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Sure, but I guess the ending leaves the impression that they ran out of money and they just needed to get it done. You know, that's how I took it.
But they shot the movie 3 different ways.
Okay.
One was like super close to the script, very literal. The second one was a lot darker in tone and like meaner. And then the third one was they improvised it and it was more funny and open. Most of the scenes ended up going with the third option.
Yeah,
the
that's
more improv scene, especially because a lot of the actors like were okay with doing improv.
Yeah,
or had
Dan
been
Aykroyd.
rehearsing. Dan Aykroyd especially.
Yeah.
Man, what a fucking
I was actually
nut job.
shocked when I saw him walk on screen and gun down those guys. I was like, oh, they've got the Conehead guy as the fucking assassin. Like
the Conehead guy.
I was in with that specific part. Like that part, I was like, oh, okay, this is they're doing something interesting here. And then it got really 90s. I didn't hate this movie.
Okay.
To
glad.
defend myself, I didn't hate it.
I'm glad you didn't hate it.
But there were parts on it that were obviously played for laughs that did not get a laugh from me, and then there were parts that were like so absurd. I remember there was one part, and I'm trying to remember what exactly it was, where I was like kind of cackling.
We might hit it in the summary.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Well, let me go over the critics' reviews. So in his review of Grosse Pointe Blank, critic Matt Brunson gave the film 3 out of 4 stars, writing, "With its darkly comic sensibilities and morally flawed protagonists, this won't be to everyone's taste, but those who can get on its wavelength will appreciate the savory witticisms and dryly accurate observations." Conversely, as I mentioned earlier, Roger Ebert was less positive, giving the film 2.5 out of 4 stars. Roger said of the film, "The movie for me is a near miss. One of the problems is the conclusion, which things are resolved with an elaborate action sequence." Over on Letterboxd, user Lucy gave the film 3.5 stars, writing, "A rom-com for dads."
I don't know about that one, actually.
No?
I don't. Okay, so
I think that speaks to this movie being a 4-quadrant movie in a smaller sense, because it's a black comedy.
Yep.
It's an action movie.
Yes.
It's a romantic comedy.
Yes.
And that's not 4 quadrants, but those are 3 genres.
And there's one more.
That it touches on.
And
those are 3
the other
genres.
one, exactly.
And the other one.
It's attached to.
Right.
And so it is like an interesting movie for lots of different people there. You know?
I guess when I hear dad movie, I immediately put myself in the brain of my father. And I'm like, would my dad like this? And there's not enough Cheech and Chong fart jokes in there, to be a comedy, and there's not enough action to be an action movie.
I think what Lucy is getting at is more my idea of a dad movie, which is
The millennial dad
gun
movie.
goes shooty and guy is really smart and funny.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But not in a Ryan Reynolds kind of way.
No.
Which this is Ryan Reynolds' favorite movie.
You're kidding me.
No, and I feel like Ryan Reynolds his whole life has been trying to be in a movie like this.
Yeah, I can see
He's
that.
been trying to make this movie his whole life.
I could
think.
actually see him trying to remake this movie.
That's what I'm saying. Did you see The Hitman's Bodyguard?
No.
Did
I
he
not.
remake this movie?
Well, okay. I haven't seen it, and I'm not going to subject myself to it.
Yeah.
But I feel like that movie's trying to capture this kind of movie.
I gotcha.
And then
When did it come out?
Oh,
Like 5 years ago.
yeah, very
Are they
recent.
making
There's
a
a
movie like
sequel
this
with
again?
Selma Hayek.
Oh,
Yeah.
But that's the thing is they can't, right? And here's the reason why. With how we've gotten to, as you pointed out, right? Action sequences, for whatever reason, went to this quick cut bullshit. You can't have a nice, long, drawn out action sequence like in The Raid,
oh yeah.
Exactly. So they could remake it today, but it's going to have all of the terrible habits that
Yeah.
movies these days have learned to have. It would just be fucking Deadpool, but without the Marvel licensed characters,
Yeah. And then it would become a franchise of its own.
Yeah.
Okay, since you said something about a sequel,
Oh,
No, did they really?
I forgot.
I didn't want to talk about it.
They made a sequel to this?
Kind of. It's a spiritual sequel. John Cusack says he sees it as a sequel,
Okay.
but it's not actually related.
Is he playing Martin though? I don't remember.
His character is not named Martin. That's the thing. It has no literal attachments to this movie.
He says it's vibes based, and the vibe is that
it is a spiritual sequel.
we're Grosse Pointe Blanking.
Because he is still like a hitman. But anyway, it's called War Inc. It came out in 2003. It is not good. Do not seek it out,
Yeah.
Listener, do not watch this movie. I saw it in high school because I was really high on John Cusack and Grosse Pointe Blank. And even I was like, I don't know about this one.
And no, sometimes you just go down a Q hole, a Cusack hole, and you run into some
Jesus.
stinkers.
I was going to say, Q-Hole was
Q-Hole.
2016 to 2021.
Where we go one in a hole, we all go in a hole.
Exactly. He gets it.
Cue the storm in the butthole. Yeah, War Inc. is a bad movie. It's trying really hard to say something, but it ends up kind of like Southland Tales, where it's just a real muddy movie. But not even like where like Southland Tales has a lot of beautiful things to say and show, and it can kind of be redeemed by like, it's a mess, but I love it. War Inc. is not that kind of a mess. I'm going to move right past that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I have another Letterboxd review I want to highlight.
Let's hear it.
And I may cut this out. So let me just read it and then tell me what you guys think.
Okay.
I almost feel like this guy's being too harsh and too flip.
Ooh, okay.
But I think he's a little too on the money too.
Okay.
And I'm going to warn you, it's a Chapo Trap House guy.
Which one? Is it Felix?
No, it's Will Miniker.
Oh, okay. I like his opinions.
Okay. So you might like his review. So also on Letterboxd, user Will Miniker of Chapo Trap House gave the film 3 stars and left the following biting review. Guy who is better, smarter, and more successful than everyone he went to high school with escapes the trap of not being cool anymore by being a totally amoral contract killer. This may be the most Gen X movie ever made. It's saturated with all of their obsessions with not turning into their boomer parents, ironic self-depreciation, therapy, quirky girlfriends, and 80s music. The dialogue is like Gilmore Girls for men. It's pure. It is also pure Gen X, as the hero of the film is willing to kill to avoid joining a union. Not quite as revelatory as when I first saw it and thought Martin Blank was the coolest man ever. Minnie Driver is still an absolute babe, though.
Wow. That's
Holy
right if you're a hater.
Fucking no, that's right.
I know.
That's fucking
I know.
right. Wow.
I had to put that in there because I'm like, damn, Will's fucking right. Other Will.
Oh,
Damn.
Start the beginning again. Man who is
smarter and
Guy who is better, smarter, and more successful than everyone he went to high school escapes the trap of not being cool anymore by being a totally amoral contract killer.
beautiful.
That's fucking good. I they don't make them like they used to anymore.
They don't make them like they used to.
I will say the thing I struggle with the most in this movie is that Dan Aykroyd's trying to start a union and he absolutely refuses to have any part of it.
Yeah.
And it's like from the context of the movie, you can understand because Dan Aykroyd's character is awful.
Yeah.
And he wants nothing to do with him because of that. But the idea of the union is a good idea.
They don't have to compete anymore. And they
I
don't
know.
have to
He
shoot
keeps saying,
each
like,
other
if
anymore.
we do this, like, I won't be taking contracts that will, like, be killing your VIP, like, your protector kind of thing
We
anymore.
share in the fucking goal, you dumbass.
Yeah, he literally says, like, no more oopsies like that anymore. You know what I mean? And, like,
He's like-
and also, he wants out.
Yeah.
You know, so if he just decided, he's like, actually, I don't need to join the union because I'm not going to be a member anymore. Also, by the time he tries to explain this, it's a moot point. But
Yeah.
like,
Well, like
it's
John Wick is in a
frustrating.
union and it's really hard to get out.
That's true, and it kind of fucks him because he violates the union's rules, and it. God,
And like John Wick,
those movies frustrate me so much. Oh my god,
It's okay because they're bad now.
John Wick?
Not the first two, but they
get after
progressively
two.
worse.
I
they
thought
get
3 was
bad.
really good. I liked the part where he rode the horse, and
I don't like-
I like the part where he rode the
But
motorcycle.
The script, the writing, goes absolute to dog shit after 2.
I'm
Don't
sorry.
talk to me
hold on.
about John
Courtney.
Wick 3.
Courtney, hold on. I
Sorry.
Whoa.
That's how I feel about
Reset
it.
the pod. Reset the pod.
Flub.
Flip.
I'm sorry. They lost a lot of credit with me when they completely misused Hiroyuki Sanada.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They misuse everybody that shows up.
That
after
is
2, man.
a sin against my family and my household. You
Okay.
can't do that. Sorry.
Lawrence Fishburne gets a couple of great lines, but then he gets totally wasted after
Yeah.
that. Like after he goes, "Somebody give this man a gun." The best thing they did for him in that entire series. They just wasted him the rest of this. It's so frustrating.
Okay. So, Grosse Pointe Blank.
If you look up the people that wrote those sequels too, they are like amateurs, man. And it's the reason I didn't like Atomic Blonde either. And I didn't even know they wrote that until I looked it up later.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Grosse Pointe Blank. Synopsis. The film opens with Martin Blank, played by John Cusack, on the phone with his assistant, played by Joan Cusack.
I was wondering when
Who we
you
love.
said Joan Cusack, I was like, oh, which one? Because I'm not familiar with her
You've got
face.
to figure out who she is, man. Come
I
on.
couldn't recognize the face.
That's crazy.
yeah, it's bad. It's bad, isn't it? But like, I was like, oh, which one was she? The operator? She had to have been.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or the assistant.
The assistant. Excuse me.
Anyway, he's on the phone with
She
his
wa-
assistant. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, she was kind of pulling the strings, though. I mean, he's the one shooting the gun, but she's the one being like, be here, do this, do
Yeah.
this. Are we not doing it? All right, we're done.
Hey, by the way, your client wants you to be at Grosse Pointe to kill this guy. Just happens to be the same weekend as your reunion. She
was
gets really excited. When
She
he
was the
agrees.
best part of the movie for me.
She rules.
by the way.
Yeah.
I love the part where she really screams at someone.
Yeah, ordering the bullets. Yes. that was
Oh, yeah,
good.
that's right.
Yeah, I
That's
think
a
that
great
was the
scene.
part that made me crack out. Like it was
Yeah.
fucking 11:30 at night. I'm trying to be quiet, not bother my wife and kid, and I'm laughing.
How about when she's torching the office because they're quitting?
Yeah.
She's like throwing gasoline over all the files and she has a cigarette in her mouth.
Yeah.
She's having a good time. Like
Yeah.
I
And I
enjoy
love
her.
when he's like, "Oh, by the way, when you're done, look under the desk. I left a little something for you." And she finds it and just goes crazy. And she's like,
yeah, that's good stuff.
I love
Sorry, we
that.
immediately skipped ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So anyway, he's on the phone with his assistant, discussing business matters and the mail. As he's readying a high-powered rifle with a suppressor and scope, Martin works as a freelance assassin, and he is tracking a bike messenger riding quickly down a Los Angeles street. His assistant reads him an invitation to his 10-year high school reunion, which is taking place shortly in Grosse Pointe, a suburb of Detroit and Martin's hometown. Martin shoots the bike messenger just before the man can shoot and kill another man coming out of a hotel across the street. Chaos erupts as the man's bodyguards open fire on the bike messenger. Martin looks away, assuming the crisis has been averted, and orders his assistant to shred the high school reunion invite, as he refuses to go. Suddenly, a doorman appears near the bodyguards and kills them and the VIP before vanishing inside the hotel. Martin recognizes the other assassin as Grosser, played by Dan Aykroyd, one of his chief rivals. Grosser later meets up with Martin and asks that he join a union he's putting together for the other freelance assassins, so they may avoid future issues like this.
That was one of my favorite bits. Is that every time they come and see each other, they're both pointing guns.
They're
at
both
each
on
other.
edge
Yes.
and like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just now remember that bit. They've only met me like 2 times outside of business.
At the diner, and then I think they're outside after the hit.
Yeah, and they're both they're both constantly just pointing guns at each other. It's just cracking.
There's
cracks me up.
in the diner when Dan Aykroyd walks in holding a paper bag over his
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah, it's just blatantly.
Yeah, and he's like supposed to have a gun in there. There's already a hole in the paper bag at the end of it. And so, like, you can infer that, like, he's already used this paper bag to shoot somebody.
Like, just
and
on
he's
the way.
so cheap that he just put the bag over it. Yeah.
That's why he's trying to start a union.
Yeah.
Negotiate prices.
Dan Aykroyd said in an interview somewhere, I forget the context where now, but he said his character's name, Grocer, is a nickname that he got from other hitmen in the story because he once dressed up as a grocer, like at a grocery store, wearing like an apron over a white t-shirt, to kill somebody. And so they just started calling him the Grocer.
Can I just say, when he comes out of the hotel with dual pistols and shoots a million times, no discretion, just pop, 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 pop. I like that part.
Yeah, same here. No, that was...
I was like, oh, it's silly.
Exactly. That introduction, you're not kidding. It is like, John Cusack and his sister, that's his sister, right?
Mm-hmm.
Joan Cusack? Yeah. Are, they're having a playful conversation, whatever, while he's doing a hit.
He does like a nice choreographed, like silent snipe on a guy. Yeah.
But then Dan Aykroyd shows up, puts a million bullets,
blows everybody away with
and it's like, oh, it sets the tone for the film, and also like introduces this character as like somebody to not be fucked with, and also is probably unhinged.
Yes.
And it's like, dude, that's perfect. That's a really good entrance for your villain.
Okay, so later on another assignment in Miami, Martin is attempting to kill another target with poison so that it appears as a natural death. However, the job goes awry. And that's how you say that, right? Awry.
Yeah, awry.
Yeah, okay. However, the job goes awry and Martin is forced to shoot the target in the head. To make amends, the client that hired Martin demands that he take another assignment to kill a target in Grosse Pointe the same weekend as his 10-year reunion. Martin, uneasy about revisiting his hometown, but realizing he is becoming depressed and irritable from his dissatisfaction with work and for the increasing competition from rival assassins, including Grocer, meets with his therapist, played by Alan Arkin. You have no idea who that is?
Nope.
Okay.
Sure don't.
Famous.
He was another really good part of this film. Like,
Dude.
only in a couple scenes.
Yeah.
But he's very funny.
So he plays the psychiatrist.
Yes.
And he's a famous actor and writer and director and producer. He just died a couple years ago. But I mean, he was old in the 70s.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. I saw a movie of his a little while ago called Little Murders. It's like a 70s movie with like Elliot Gould. Mm-hmm. And it's like about how dangerous New York was in the 70s.
Oh,
but it's a dark comedy. But he shows up for it for just a few minutes as like a police detective. And he's just like completely overworked and like completely overwhelmed and out of his element. And they called him because they're like, hey, we need to report like somebody shot through our window and like has been calling us and making like sex noises over the phone. And he's like, okay, that's awful. But there's so many things happening all the time in New York City. I need you to get over it. Like, we can't do anything about any of this. We do not have enough people. I don't care. And they just feel like, oh, wow, the New York City Police Department is completely ineffectual. With like, what are we going to do? But yeah, he plays Martin's like terrified and overwhelmed psychiatrist. Reluctant. Yeah. Because he's like telling Martin, like, I can't be your psychiatrist. Okay. So Martin is explaining his problems to him and he goes, shouldn't you be writing this down or taking notes? And he goes, Martin, I'm not your psychiatrist. I can't do this.
And he's
I'm
like,
afraid of you.
So you don't live at, and then he reads out his address. Oh, I know where you live. And he's like, why are you telling me this?
Yeah.
Like, I totally
he's like,
believe
no, come
you.
on now. You're scaring me. And he's like, come on, I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that.
That was
he's
my
like,
favorite line of the movie where he's like, no, that wasn't a nice thing to say. That wasn't designed to make me feel good.
Yeah, exactly. He's using therapist language. It's perfect. Yeah.
And like, the line delivery is fantastic.
Yeah,
like, that is a really good scene.
And I know where you live. And he has that shit-eating grin.
Yeah.
Like, what?
It's so good. But yeah, apparently Martin tracked him down because like he's like a world-renowned psychiatrist and like
he wrote books.
He wrote 2 books about it, and one of them is even called like Mastering the Warrior Within or something. And I'm like, oh, that's something an assassin would see and be like, this should be my therapist, kind of thing. But yeah, they just have a great back and forth. And Alan Arkin's character basically saying like a therapist is supposed to report when they know a client has committed a crime or is going to commit a crime. And John Cusack just writes it off. He's like, come on, I know the laws.
I'm very serious about this.
Yeah, but he's like, I just don't want to be your therapist anymore. And he's like, well, what do you think? Should I go to my reunion? And he's like, you know what? Yeah, like take a few weeks off, don't kill anybody, go to the thing.
He stresses, don't kill anybody.
Yeah. What does John Cusack say?
I'll give it a shot.
He's like, I'll give it a shot. He's like, no, don't shoot anything. Yeah. Don't kill anybody.
It's very good.
God, it's so good. We can't do it justice. You got to check this movie
Yeah,
out.
I'm sorry. We are not professionals. Like this guy that you're talking about. What's the name?
Alan
of
Arkin?
Alan Arkin.
Oh,
we
yeah.
are not professionals like him.
But also,
we weren't in the biz.
having just edited the High Fidelity episode, I caught myself like multiple times just verbatim quoting the movie to you. And I was like, oh, it's because I had this DVD growing up and like I know all these lines. I did not have Grosse Pointe Blank growing up, so I don't know all the lines that well. I'm sure a lot of people do. This was one of those movies for people though.
Mm-hmm.
But I wish I did because like it's got some better lines, I think, than High Fidelity.
Yeah.
I missed that time where you just had 5 DVDs and you just watched them all on repeat.
Yeah. Different time, man. Well, anyway, Grosser tries to recruit Martin into joining the Assassin's Guild he's trying to put together. And he's like, I'm not interested. No, thank you.
I'm a Sigma male. I'm a lone wolf.
Martin reluctantly decides to take this contract in Grosse Pointe.
Because he has to.
Yeah. And
Because they're very unhappy with him.
it sounds like he hasn't
fucked up the assassination.
Right, because he fucked up the thing in Miami. And it sounds like he isn't sure about going to the reunion or not. But he has been talking about how he's been having dreams about his old high school girlfriend, Debbie, played by Minnie Driver, later. But he's like been having dreams about her because he misses her. And we find out that he, on prom night, senior year of high school, just dropped out of high school and disappeared off the face of the earth, and nobody ever heard from him again, including his parents, apparently. He had been sending his parents money, but wasn't in contact with them. And we find out he gets back into town, Grosse Pointe, and he starts revisiting places. He goes to his old high school and runs into an old teacher of his. They have a really cute exchange. And she's like, oh, what happened to you? Like, you were our greatest mystery since White Flight. Like, what happened? You know? And he's like, oh, you know, I went west and did some things. You know, he starts quoting some things that I don't even know what some of the references were, but then one of them is the Donner Party, you know, alluding to like he ended up killing people. And then he's turns on the radio and he hears his old girlfriend, Debbie. She is a radio DJ now.
You know he knew. You know he knew that station by heart.
I don't think so, because I don't think he's kept in
keeping tabs. Yes, he is.
No, I don't think he's been keeping in contact. Yeah.
Whatever.
No?
See, this is why we have you on, because
See, if they were to remake this movie today, she'd be a podcaster.
And they're playing the podcast live outside of the studio.
Yeah, and she's doing a true crime podcast, you know, and he's like, oh, I listened to your show. It's great.
they'd be doing like a live show, like in a stadium or whatever. And he'd just be sitting.
And he'd be like a weird fan, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he'd signed up for the meet and greet. He paid extra.
And she's like, oh my God, Martin.
Yeah, he pulls up to the radio station and he starts watching her from outside.
Yeah.
Well, first he drives away and comes back later.
Yeah.
He's very conspicuously watching her. Inconspicuously.
Conspicuously.
Flub.
Thank you.
Flub,
yeah,
flub,
that's a full on. I'll take that one. That's a Brian-esque flub right there. I'm sorry.
But redo it.
Oh yeah, he goes and visits his childhood home, and it's now a a convenience store.
Oh,
You're skipping.
That's right.
No, I'm not.
No, wait. The gas station is after he's met her, right?
No, he
No,
does
it's
go
after he
there.
spies on her.
Yeah.
Okay.
And whatchamacallit, and like has kind of a weird conversation with the guy behind the counter.
Yeah, he's like, "Who are you?
Yeah.
Why are you
I
here?"
love that. Why are you here?
Yeah.
How long have you been here? And he's like, a couple months.
Yeah. Because he's talking to him like he thinks he's a plant, you know? Like, is this all an elaborate
Oh, that's right, because he's
scheme?
fucking paranoid. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't really touch on that anymore.
Well, isn't there a part? Oh, man.
Because then people are trying to kill him and he doesn't notice it for a while.
Because his Joan Cusack does like they talk and she's like, oh, there's another guy. There's like other people out there.
Yeah.
And then he's also, I think, maybe realizes that he's being tailed by the FBI.
The
NSA,
FBI?
yeah.
NSA, excuse me.
Yeah.
That's right. That was the NSA.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And they're like, I just remember them as feds, but they're explicitly like, we can't do anything until we see him commit a crime.
Right.
They have that conversation. It's very, felt a little Pulp Fiction-y in that scene.
Yes.
Where it's like a John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson's character kind of repertoire a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's just like two guys in suits in a car talking about killing people, you know. Also, it helps that inside that convenience store is a Pulp Fiction like stand-up of the whole cast.
Oh, that's right.
Do you remember that? Because they get shot during the shootout. And they intentionally like squibbed it up so that it would blow up and stuff. Apparently Quentin Tarantino was like a big fan of this movie and like wanted to be in it, but they weren't able to like coordinate a camera.
I gotcha.
for him.
We also had Doom in the corner.
Yeah.
That has a major role in that scene too
Yeah.
when it's getting shot up where the
But
guy,
now you're skipping ahead.
The worker, I know. But the worker's just playing Doom and listening to music loud enough that he doesn't hear the gunshots.
I love it.
Yeah.
Fucking insane.
So silly.
But yeah, he goes to visit his childhood home and finds this convenience store. I keep wanting to say gas station because in the South, like convenience stores are gas stations, basically. Yeah. And he's just like completely upset about this. And I love how he calls his Alan Arkin's character, his therapist, and he's like just ranting on his voicemail about it. And he's like, you can't go home again, but you can shop there.
And then, I think after a night, he does find the courage to go to the
revisit the radio station. Yeah. And then walks in and says hello while she's live on air.
Yeah.
And interrupts her.
The tact, the just walking in, and she's like, in general, what are you doing? And then she's like, what are you in general doing here?
Yeah. And like even like then turns it into a bit.
Yeah.
Well, after the song, I think, ends playing.
Swings the mic over to him and puts him live on air.
My ex-boyfriend just walked through the door.
Yeah.
What should we ask him? And then, and like, there's a couple, like, what, one or two people call in?
Yeah, a couple people call in.
And he's like, I don't want to talk to these people.
Oh, we skipped over. He finds out his mom has dementia and is in
That's
That
right.
was-
it's like an assisted living facility and is not
she's on
doing
lithium, and she's
Yeah, she's got
she
fucking
forgets who he is.
memento disease.
She's memento disease.
And his dad passed away. That he knew, but like he just references like he's like, I'm sorry about dad a few years ago.
Oh, had he at this point poured the
It's right after that.
40 out?
Right after he visits his mom and she forgets who he is like immediately. He goes to visit his dad's grave
Yeah.
and just pours out a whole bottle that he
He's
bought.
so, you can tell like they didn't have a good relationship, but I really did like the pouring out for a fallen homie.
I think that explains why he just dropped everything and joined the army.
Oh,
and
yeah.
became a hitman. Like didn't have a good relationship with his dad. Like that tells you everything you need to know about the character right there.
Yeah. We should all be so lucky.
To become hitman.
Yeah, because you have a bad relationship with your dad. Duh.
That's like a best case scenario.
Yeah, worst case scenario, you end up being me. But it's a joke. We're doing a joke episode.
Just kidding.
We're doing a comedy.
Well, he talks with Debbie, and what's cool about the scene is when he first walks in, and she jumps up and kisses him right away.
Yeah, you know he has a chance still.
Completely throws him off though. It's because that wasn't in the script.
Oh, I like that.
She improvised that, didn't tell John, and the director knew it was coming, but he thought it was so fucking good, and he's like, you should have seen the fucking grin on Johnny's face afterwards. He's like, we had to keep that part in.
Aww.
Yeah. I just love that stuff. You know, they had such good chemistry on set. You can tell with everybody. Yeah. But then, they agree to meet up later and go out for drinks that night.
What's the song that she plays when he walks out? Do you guys remember that?
Oh, shit.
She plays a song that like makes him befuddled and like kind of turn around.
Fuck.
Man, that soundtrack was so good too.
I got a note about the soundtrack, but I
I'm
don't remember
sorry.
that. No, it's okay. I wish I knew.
It's not that important, but it's like she still remembers enough about him to be able to pull at his heartstrings and get him to, kind of fold.
Yeah, because like he is Alan Arkin says he's obsessed with her, and she's like, you know what? He's the one that got away still.
Yeah.
Google says it is You're Wondering Now by the Specials, which I think is right because I remember the Specials have like 2 or 3 songs in this soundtrack, as do the Clash. But the composer for the film was Joe Strummer of the Clash.
Okay.
So there's a lot of Clash songs and like posters and stuff in the movie. So after that, he goes and starts meeting up with like his old friends from high school.
Yeah.
Including Paul, played by Jeremy Piven, a hair transplant, Jeremy Piven. If I showed you a picture of him now, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, that guy," because he got hair plugs in the early 2000s, and nobody remembers that he used to look like this.
You know, it's really
Everyone
funny.
Google Jeremy Piven, 1997.
This is actually the second time
He
that
looks
you've brought
hotter
this
now
up.
than he did 30 years ago. It doesn't make any sense, but it's, hey, he went to Turkey and got some hair plugs, presumably, just like a lot of other people. You see what I'm talking about?
It's a fucking.
Yep. He's the lead in Entourage. Yeah. Everyone knows him from Entourage.
You've told me this before. This is
We've talked about him
if you
because
are
he shows up in Heat also.
Yes.
Looking just like this guy. This
Schlub.
this schlubby like 45-year-old guy who's like struggling with his
Wait,
hair.
We have
But
to
he's
talk
actually
about
like
something.
25 in this
What
movie.
do we have to talk about?
We have to talk about that the crux of this movie is the high school reunion. A
Yes.
10-year high school reunion.
Yeah.
Everyone is supposed to be 28.
Yeah, no.
No way. This is more like it's really gearing towards 20-year reunion. Everyone looks
Really? You think they're older?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Look, the lady behind the counter that's giving everybody their name
Exactly.
tags. Dude, she looks like she's in her
I could see some of them, but
mid-30s.
John is definitely, I think, on the money.
Well, that's because he's got a baby face.
'cause yeah.
No. I mean,
Oh, well, he
is-
was 28 in that.
I think he was 20 because he was 32 in High Fidelity.
All I'm saying is that it was, and with 10 years passing, that's not that much time. You know what I mean? Like 3 kids in 10 years, you can do it, but she was like giving
Kourtney,
50s housewife.
We had people in our high school that had 2 kids already.
No, I know, but it's just like it seemed like she was like, yeah, and my kids are in college.
He was 31 in this. Never mind.
I'm telling you, well, it's still
Wow.
not that far, but
Yeah, because he was 35.
it
in
really
High
was
Fidelity.
like maybe
That's what it was.
15-year reunion, 20, but
Well,
10, that's not really that long of a
and-
time.
Hollywood at the time does always cast a little older. Now they cast a little younger, it feels like.
Yeah.
You know, broccoli haircut ass kids in these young adult movies, you know. But anyway. But yeah, people were always a little older playing a little younger.
Mhm.
It wasn't as egregious as it was in like the 50s and 60s when you had like, you know, a 50-year-old playing a 20-year-old. But like,
Oh, yeah.
but yeah, I see what you're saying.
That's my-
And also, they all like a 10-year high school reunion is not that big of a deal.
No,
I
but
think-
20,
I think
that's
the
like a
20
lot of
year is a
time
bigger
to
one. Yeah.
establish yourself and do something.
Yeah.
Say someone became a doctor or a lawyer, they just became,
You
they just got in their
maybe
field.
just be leaving med school by that
Yeah.
point. Yeah, like
So I'm like, you know,
Yeah.
more time should have
People
passed,
haven't-
really.
yeah, you're only 28 in that
Yeah.
context. Like
You're
your
so
life is
baby.
just starting. Yeah, you probably just entered your field. You know, whatever. Yeah. Will, since we're on that subject,
Yeah, what's up?
I know Kourtney and I didn't go to our 10-year reunion, but also there wasn't really one.
There was.
I don't remember getting like an invite.
So maybe yours also wasn't organized
Probably not.
because ours wasn't.
Ours
Who the
was
fuck-
organized.
No, it
cares?
was
Someone else took over
a
for
couple people on Facebook threw together a bar thing. That
it. But it
all
was a lot of people.
How many people went though?
Girl, I don't know.
Nobody we
But
care for.
Anyway, actually, I feel like we were at a party at your house during our
night
10-year.
of?
Yeah, night
I think
of.
we were like, we got a better thing to do anyway.
Absolutely.
I
We're
remember
not going to
saying
our
that.
10-year anniversary
No.
or high school. Pfft, whatever.
Yeah, no.
I feel like those things have like fallen out of fashion.
Well, and also like they're supposed to be organized by like the class president and stuff instead of the school now. At
Okay.
least where we went to school
Sure.
and stuff. I don't know if that's the same everywhere.
I wouldn't know.
But like I know our class president was not interested, and also I don't think he was in the state at the time.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't. Okay, yeah. I don't know about yours. I didn't go to your high school.
I don't
Obviously.
fucking know. I don't give a
Ours-
shit about any of those people.
Right? That's exactly
Yeah,
how I feel.
That's also the other thing.
Although
Yeah.
our class president was past guest Stephen Meadows' brother.
Brother. Okay, yeah. I was like, it wasn't Steven, but okay, you went there.
You can cut it.
Honestly, we should have Aaron on the pod.
Aaron, get on the pod.
Aaron,
Oh.
if you're listening, text me, brother.
We do like End of Watch or something like that, like a cop related movie.
Yeah.
He would actually really like
Yeah.
that.
I
He
bet
would
he
do a
would.
David Lynch episode with us. He's the one who introduced me to a lot of David Lynch stuff.
It's overdue, too.
Yeah, honestly, we should do a David Lynch thing. You want to get real fucking depressed.
No.
I'm already there.
No.
I'm already there. But no, yeah, class reunions seem so like passe now. Like nobody gives a fuck about any of
Yeah.
that stuff. Nobody wants to see people that they went to high school
You keep
with.
up with them through
But also, we have
social media,
Facebook
too.
and social media.
Yeah.
That's how a lot of people keep up with the ones they care about. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, last week I spent like an hour messaging somebody who I went to middle school with, just chatting about every person that we know from middle school and what they are now.
Yeah,
That was really fun.
that's cool.
That's
we also
nice.
found out that we both punched the same guy.
Tight. That's awesome.
I was
This wasn't Brett Sears, was it?
no,
Brett, I miss
no.
you. I miss you so much, buddy.
It was a lady.
Oh, okay.
Which when I found out she also punched this guy, I was like, fuck
Tight.
yeah. I knew that
cool.
guy sucked. Anyway, that might not survive the edit. So he met up with Paul, Jeremy Piven's character.
Oh, and sorry, we went.
He's
on
like a
tangent.
real
Yeah, we really
estate
did.
agent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's fun.
His life fucking sucks. He wants to be a hitman so bad.
Yeah, he's just really cool. But I think he's joking. But he's like, you get dental with that?
No, I don't think he is. Because
No, he
he's-
is, because when he sees that he killed a guy later, he's like, holy fucking shit, you weren't kidding.
And he
Yeah,
helps him.
but he helps him immediately.
Because he's a bud.
Yeah.
No. Because there are two completely different reactions to two people that he's told I'm a hitman to. Minnie Driver's character, she freaks out and is like, oh my God, this is fucking real. I've been fucking around with a psychopath, and runs off. And Jeremy Piven's character was like, oh, you're serious? Let me help. Like, I think he was definitely like if this is real, I want to do this.
They incinerated a man. No
because,
questions.
hang on.
Because his life is so fucking boring.
He does, because when he sees it, he's like, was it you or him? Was he trying to kill you? And John goes,
No,
yeah.
that's Debbie.
Oh, that was
Debbie
her.
Debbie says
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
You're right.
Paul's like, let's do it, bro.
But he's a bro.
Yeah, you're
That
right.
doesn't mean-
he's like
Jared-
Paul's a bro.
he lit the joint for me while I was driving.
If I saw Will trying to
No.
cover up a dead body, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm helping Will. No question. I will ask him questions afterward.
he was
but I'm
mad
putting the body in the
afterwards.
incinerator.
Jared, dude, no, buddy, I would help you, but I would have to ask a lot of questions beforehand.
Before.
No,
Before.
not before. I'm helping you. And then I'm asking.
Jared, that's fucking crazy, dog.
Time is of the essence. I've seen 48 hours, okay?
Jesus,
Dude, you're crazy, dog.
cut this.
No, keep it
Will,
in.
I'm a bro. I'm assuming it
He's
was
right
you
or
or
die.
him. Yeah, I'm
No,
assuming
okay.
you made the right decision here.
This is true.
Yeah, that's the point of being a bro. You know that your bro made the right decision there in the moment, you know?
You're right.
Yeah, but what if I'm a bad person and I deserved it?
You wouldn't be my bro.
I guess you're right.
And if I find out after the fact, that's fine. I cut ties and we're no longer,
I'm an
associated.
accomplice, but
That's it. It's over after that.
Exactly.
Before that, I'll help you. That is so fucking funny. Well, I know if I need to hide a dead body,
Listen,
I'm giving you a call.
Courtney and I have had
I know,
long conversations
Yeah.
about what it means to be ride or die.
Yeah, because we did this for the Heat episode.
Oh, did we talk about it? That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Because it all happens with Robert De Niro and
Exactly.
the lady whose character I don't like in that movie. Yeah.
It's just
Wow, but that was the first episode.
that was
too,
the
wasn't
first
it?
episode.
Holy
Well, no,
shit.
Demon Lover was the first episode.
Well,
Rest in peace.
release the cut.
Release it, dude.
that was 81 episodes ago.
Wow,
damn,
good
dude,
job.
Right? Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. Our second anniversary just kind of came and went. We didn't get to do anything for it.
I was sick.
okay.
I was sick.
It's fine. It's what it is.
You can make up for it.
I know. We didn't plan anything for it.
What would you even do?
I thought we would either do like a mini episode, but I had, again, no plan.
Nothing. Yeah.
Or like, I was like, should we do like a social media video where like we just film us for like a minute, like saying thank you or something? Kind of
Jerking off.
But
You should do the challengers churro bite.
Yeah. Okay. Fuck. We should do that. Oh my God. We go get the new churro bite at Taco Bell, and then we do the challengers thing where they're like sharing that. What is it? A hot dog or something?
Wasn't
Corn
it a
dog?
churro?
Was it a churro?
don't
Oh,
know.
okay. You saw it.
I don't remember it.
They're like
I'll
sharing a
find it.
churro, and they're both like eating off it, and it's very like
Gay?
charged, homoerotic.
It's gay.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
dude, no. Let's do that. Let's fucking do that. Any excuse to almost kiss you, Jared? Hell yeah.
And get Taco Bell
And
at the
get
same
Taco
time.
Bell,
It's
yeah.
a win-win, baby.
This is all me, dude. Oh man, if you had been here fucking 15 minutes before I got here, I had cinnamon twist, dude. We could have fucking done it. You really don't think Jeremy Piven's character believes him?
I don't think he believes him in that moment because he's kind of riffing with him in the car about it. I think he also thinks it's a joke, but it all sets in when he sees the dead body later in the hallway.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So Jeremy Piven's a real estate agent, I said earlier, and he's like got to show a house to somebody. So John Cusack just kind of hangs around in the front yard of the
Oh, that's
house.
right. That's right.
And then a security guard passes by, and it's also another guy they went to high school with, but he's like kind of weird and annoying. They get caught up in having a conversation with him. They kind of chase off the prospective buyers that Jeremy Piven
What does he
has.
say is like, when I think about a house,
I've always thought of myself as kind of temporary, which is borrowed from, Death of a Salesman.
okay.
But he's like, but when I look at you two and I look at this house, like I could really see a future for me, you know?
Married to a
like,
woman that looks
"Oh."
just like you in this house.
Yeah. It's a little off-putting, and then you can tell he's like chasing them away, and he apologizes to Jeremy Piven later. He's like, "Nah, it's okay. It's fine. I should have known better."
That had to have been improv.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure.
That whole scene in the car where he's just screaming, 10 years!
10 years.
You know that
Yeah.
was improv. And then what was the
They start lighting
joke
up a
where
joint immediately too when they
Yeah.
get in the car together, and I'm just like, I love this shit.
there was a part where, God, I wish I could remember because you could tell it was improv because John Cusack was like, well, we won't go to him then. Like, what was that line?
later at the reunion. He's
No, it was
talking-
in the car.
No. Oh wait, was it?
Yeah, because he laughs
Was
and is like, it just
he's
doesn't
talking
feel
about
like.
his sister marrying a guy named Kenny. And he's like, oh, no, Kenny went to prison
Oh, yeah.
for something. And he's like, I think he's working at a Pizza Hut now. And he goes, well, we're not going to go there. Then,
Yes,
are we?
yes.
He's like, no.
And you could tell, like, that wasn't in the script, but it was real cute.
Yeah, oh man, this movie's full of shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, they don't make them like they used
They
to.
don't.
Man. Take a
dude.
shot.
That was my pervasive fucking thought the entire movie.
The whole time I'm watching it with Wes last weekend, I just kept turning and being like, they don't make them like this anymore.
That's true, man.
We got to get rolling here. Sorry. So as he's rolling around town, meeting up with all of his old high school friends and shit, he realizes he's being tailed by some feds.
Yeah.
And also there's a French, I think he's French, guy following him, Felix Lapoubelle, who is played by Benny Uriquides, who is
he's the stunt actor?
Yes, he's a stunt actor.
You can tell.
Professional kickboxer. Yeah, he doesn't have any lines, I don't think.
No, he says stuff.
He does? Oh, okay.
It is I, Sidney Freeman.
Oh,
or
when he's
something.
trying to get the name badge at the reunion. Yeah. But he is a professional kickboxer and big stunt performer. He's in a ton of movies.
He's built like a brick shit house too.
He is. Actually, let me pull up his thing real quick. Okay, so he's the hitman assigned to kill John Cusack's character. And he's a legendary stunt performer and professional kickboxer. He's acted in and served as a stunt coordinator on tons of classic action movies, including Roadhouse, Con Air, Street Fighter, and the Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
Oh, tight.
He is also John Cusack's personal kickboxing instructor, and the two worked on tons of films together.
Oh, that's cool.
Because I was trying to look them up when I was watching the movie, and I was like, oh, they're in like every John Cusack movie that has action in it, basically. I was like, that's really cool.
That's wild.
They must have been like really good buds. You know?
Yeah.
That's so neat. Yeah, he's like rolling around town trying to kill John Cusack. They have a big shootout in the
gas
store,
station that was his
which
old
is
house.
awesome.
Yeah.
He puts like a potato bomb in the microwave for him too, which was so cool.
That was really
and
funny.
the gas station guy says something.
Yeah.
That was the thing that like made me laugh
misses
out
the whole
loud.
shootout because he's wearing headphones,
Yeah.
blasting music. And then when John Cusack pulls him out of the store when it blows up, he turns to him and he goes, "What'd you do that for?" He goes, "It wasn't me."
That's what it was. Yeah, it's good.
Because he's always saying that to people. Like when he has to kill that guy in Miami, he's like, "Whatever I'm doing you don't like, I'll quit doing it." And he goes, "It's not me."
It's not me. That's right. Yeah.
What else are we missing?
Him and
He gets
Minnie Driver's
tagged.
character, like they go on some dates and shit. They talk about.
They go on a
like,
date, they catch up. He finds out that she's divorced. And he's like, "Wow, you're divorced. That's crazy." And she's like, "No, not really. Lots of people get married, you know?"
Yeah, but why would somebody divorce her? Is I guess the what he meant to say.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I thought it was that she married at all.
Oh,
He was so
word.
surprised. I assumed anyway
Gotcha.
that he was so surprised by that. Then they run into some other classmates there too, and they're just like, "Oh my god, look at you two, just like in high school."
Yeah.
you know?
You're so cute together.
Yeah, which was really nice. You can tell they already have chemistry though. Like you said, like the second he sees her again, you can tell like he's got a chance already.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she definitely has like fallen for him already.
Mm-hmm.
Kourtney, I know it was 30 years ago, but like, how does the all black suit work now?
People kept mentioning that he looks like a gangster, like he looks serious, like.
Undertaker.
But I didn't think anything of it at all.
I didn't either.
It's kind
Yeah.
of John Cusack-y too,
Yeah.
you know? And like, it's very trendy for the time because he always wears skinny ties,
Mm-hmm.
which like, good Lord, are not in anymore. Seeing a skinny tie on John Cusack, especially in the 90s, like on film stock, feels appropriate though. You know what I mean?
I thought he looked cool,
Yeah.
and I
yeah.
didn't think anything of it. Though
I
when
did
people,
too.
like even the security guard was like, "Oh, usually if I saw a guy that looked like you, I would be able to shoot him," because he said, "What is your
when he's
how much
asking
force are you allowed
the
to use?" And
security
he's like,
guard guy,
"Well,
like when you're allowed to use excessive force kind of thing, and he's like, "Well, you know,
if I were to see a guy like you walking around, and,
yeah, just trespassing
yes,
essentially."
just trespassing."
Yeah,
Sorry to bring us back there.
yeah.
But yeah, I didn't think anything of it. I thought it was
does it-
interesting that everyone kept bringing it up because he looks cool.
I was gonna say, does it still come across as cool to you?
Yeah.
Like,
No,
does
he's
he-
cool though.
But like,
Yeah.
is it because he's John Cusack though?
No.
Maybe
Like,
he just
is that
pulls
why
it
it's
off.
working? That's what I think it is.
That might be it.
I thought he was just dressed nice to dress nice. Like,
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
but
But it's
you
like
not
it's
just
not
dress nice anymore?
it's not in style anymore. The all black specifically and skinny tie kind of thing.
I thought he looked great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you
I don't
could because like maybe
consider
Scarface. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to
No,
talk
no,
over you,
I'm
but it's like Scarface maybe like brain broke some people when it came to like that kind of all one color with a skinny
all black.
He wears all white.
with the red tie.
Right.
Sorry, a contrast, but it's a similar. How do you say?
Monochromatic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Similar
yeah.
style, just in a different color.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm getting like the gangster tie-in.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I didn't think any. Thought it was. you know.
Yeah.
I didn't think anything about it either.
Okay. All right. Just me.
Did you not think it looked good?
No, I did, but
No,
I was
think he's
questioning
alluding to
like,
something.
does it work because it's John Cusack
Okay.
kind of thing? Because like, okay, Kenny Powers also likes to wear all black
Mhm.
at a fancy occasion.
And all white sometimes too.
And that's the joke, is that it looks stupid as fuck. But it's the smaller details, I think, that he's
You're basically being like, is it fashion or is he just thin?
Yes, that is it. And
Yeah.
I do follow Instagram accounts that like try to like push back on that kind of stuff, you know? God. Thank you for nailing that on the head. Like, it's so succinct. That's why you're on the pod.
Thank you.
Let's skip to the reunion. We've already talked about it enough.
I mean, like the only thing that I can even remember before the reunion is him picking up Minnie Driver's character. I cannot remember her. Debbie.
Yeah.
Debbie, and like very reminiscent of a guy picking up a girl to go to prom and having to have a conversation that's awkward.
Having to have an awkward meet with the dad. And he's like, how are you doing? And he's like, I'm being a typical, what is it, like parasite of the working class or something. And he goes, how about you? And he's like,
I'm a contract killer.
Yeah, I'm a contract killer. He's like, oh, it's a growth industry. Good for you, you know? And then he starts quoting, is it Shakespeare again? I think he starts quoting something, but he goes, fuck it, let's have a drink. And then they go out on, to the 10-year reunion. You can tell they don't want to.
Yeah, and you meet a bunch of wacky people that they went to high school with.
Right. They have all these kind of run-ins with like various people that you can immediately pick up on, like, oh, this is what this person was like. This is what this person was like. This person's being desperate right now, kind of thing.
The class bully.
He has that. Oh yeah. Well, I'll get to the bully, but he has that incredible scene with the girl that brought her baby, and she's like, can you watch him for a minute while I go to the bathroom? And John Cusack holds the baby, and they just like lock eyes.
Yeah.
And it's just the coolest scene where it cuts back from the baby staring at him, and then John staring at the baby, and he's just having this profound moment staring at the child. It's just incredible.
Yeah, and that baby was so cute.
It was a really cute baby.
goodness.
Yeah.
I was half hoping that he was going to be like, man, I used to be a real big piece of shit.
I
Slick
used to
back
be.
hair.
I still am, but I used to be too.
Sloppy steaks at Trufani's, live for New Year's Eve.
He doesn't. I don't think he ever says it, but like to me, this is him being like, I think I'm ready to like start a family with Debbie now. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's like, life has like,
that's the obvious.
Life is profound. I don't need to be killing people anymore. Kind of thing. Yeah. He has a run in with the bully who's like shows up drunk.
Yeah.
And is just like being an asshole to everybody. I think it's shortly after he has to kill the assassin, like in the hallway of the school. He runs into the bully. Oh, it's right
a second time. So he runs into him in the crowd and he's like, do you want to start something? And he's like, whoa, chill out,
he's
man.
like, hey, do you remember Martin? And he goes, and he like puts his head right onto him and he goes, I'm drawing a blank. It's so good.
So it was, yeah. And then he runs into him later on because he's looking for his old locker. And like he diffuses the situation and Debbie sees it without like
she's hovering in the background.
Yeah, to see how he handles himself. And
and then the bully's like getting really aggro with him, but he's like, hey man, who is it you want to fight here? Because it's not me.
Yeah.
Like we don't have any issues, you know?
Yeah, there was never us.
Yeah, there was never anything here. Like we're fine, you know? And then all of a sudden he's like, what do you want to say? What do you want to do here? And the guy like, he goes, I wrote something, and he pulls a poem out of his chest pocket.
Right. He's like, skip to the bottom.
And he's like, what is that, a poem? And he starts reading it really slowly, and he's like, why don't you just skip to the end? Which was improvised, apparently.
I bet.
It was supposed to be a very long scene where he recites this whole poem, and John Cusack was like, let's move this along.
The budget's running out. We got to go.
And he just ends with, for a while. And he's like, wow, man, that's
profound.
Really profound. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't sell the dealership or anything, but that's really good.
Yeah.
It's so great.
But he diffuses the situation that's very admirable.
Right. And I love that, like, this movie isn't a complete power complex kind of thing where it's like, yeah, he has the capability to, like, disarm this guy or, like, beat him up and, like, feel better and be like, yeah, I beat up my high school bully kind of thing. No, he actually, like, kind of confronts him in like an emotional way. And it's like, listen, man, we don't have a problem.
Yeah.
Like you should express yourself. And yet he's like very demeaning and like talking down to him a little bit but also he's like super drunk.
Right.
Yeah.
But he handles it in such a like mature way, I would say, especially for the time period.
Yeah.
But he is a man in therapy.
Yeah,
so
he's in therapy. He's taking it seriously.
He's very progressive, you know, for a man in his time. Also that joke about the cat that he has with somebody, they're like, like, do you have any pets or any children? And he's like, I have a cat. And he goes, what is it like? And he's like, well, I don't really know. I leave it by itself. You know, it's like, oh, you don't know its gender? And he's like, I respect its privacy.
That's right. But yeah, this is an excellent contrast to what happens literally like 5 minutes later. Because he finds his locker and then he gets ambushed by the other dude.
Well, he immediately finds a joint hidden up on the top.
Right, yeah.
And then he rips it apart. And I was like kind of disappointed in that.
Because it's 30 years, 10 years old. Sorry. It's
It'll
10
last.
years
I
old.
bet you that shit would
Yeah, it'll
fucking
burn.
rocked his world. I don't know how he
And he
works.
clearly still smokes pot because he did it with Paul earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know. Paul did it. I didn't see him do it.
Oh, you're right. Because I know he doesn't drink,
Yeah.
which I appreciated because he goes to the bar, but he just gets
He
non-alcoholic.
gets
because
he
he's
gets a club
bisexual.
soda, and Paul is like, "We just killed someone. You just killed
Yeah.
someone, and you're gonna order a club soda."
Yeah.
That's what he was upset about, not the murder.
I do like, yeah.
'Cause he was ride or die.
After that, Paul is kind of like,
Wait,
fucked
we're
up.
skipping it. Go.
I know. Well, anyway, he gets ambushed by the guy that's been, hunting him the whole movie. They have a pretty intense fight scene. John gets a little messed up in it, but he's able to kill him with the pen, that he got from a guy that like had a
Insurance?
insurance company.
I think that's what it
that
was.
sounds right.
Or
and he like
realtor.
stabs him in the neck
Yeah.
with it. And of course, John Wick does this later.
Yes, it's true.
And the Joker too.
He does.
surprisingly
He shows him a magic trick.
Yep, exactly. So Debbie walks in as he's trying to take care of the body, freaks out, runs away, but he's still got to take care of the body. Paul walks in, and as we said earlier, just helps him start
He was
wrapping
like,
it up.
how are we doing this?
Yep. And so they pull down like a banner from the hallway and start
Yeah.
rolling the body up, and then it's a very fun scene. There's a lot of great like physical comedy happening
Yeah.
as they like run down to the boiler room and toss him in the furnace.
Wait, we skipped a part where during the fight, John Cusack is using his incredibly long legs to kick.
Oh, yeah. He's
Yeah.
kicking the
And
fuck
I'm
out of that guy.
Yes.
He looks so cool.
And he was
Yeah.
taking kickboxing lessons from that
that-
guy.
from that guy, yeah.
yeah.
It was very Spike Spiegel. And actually, in that scene,
Oh
I
my
was like,
God. Yeah, you're right.
he is tall as hell.
Yeah,
I've
that's
never
true.
noticed he's so tall.
He's 6'3".
What?
That's
And you don't notice it because he often is a scene partner to shorter people, and he will bring himself down to their level.
oh, so sweet.
This is something his sister said of him when he got a star on the Walk of Fame in Hollywood. She's like, he's 6'3", but you would never notice because if you're shorter than him, when he talks to you, he spreads his legs apart so that he's on your level.
That's
He's
crazy.
doing like the dentist thing from It's Always Sunny getting low, and he's like, I can go lower.
I don't know this reference.
You gotta watch it.
Would you,
I'll send it
Will?
to
You
you.
are the most Always Sunny coded fan.
Man, fuck off.
It's not a bad thing.
No, it's a good
not
show.
bad
No,
thing.
I'm aware, but you guys have got like 20 minutes left. So
Okay.
let's
fucking. I've heard this 7 times now on this show.
I'm giving this guy an ocular pat down.
Oh my God.
Okay. So Martin goes back to his hotel room, realizing that Debbie's inconsolable about realizing that he actually is a killer. However, she does visit him at his hotel room.
So she's like, hey, there's still a chance, but I am deeply disturbed.
Right.
Yeah.
And he explains, she's like, what happened to you? And he explains that the night that he disappeared on prom night in high school, 10 years prior, he realized he wanted to kill somebody. And he's like, and I decided since I loved you, I should really get away from you. So I joined the army and took a like psychological exam, and they realized that I have a certain moral flexibility that made me perfect for this kind of role. And so they trained him to be a hitman. And he like did that for them he was like a CIA sponsored hitman or something for a little while. And then afterwards he became a freelance hitman, and that's where, what he's doing now. She is very upset by this, obviously. And he's trying to explain that he's like, she calls him a psychopath, and he's like, I'm not a psychopath. Psychopaths kill for no reason. I kill for money. And he's like, that doesn't sound good. Hold on. Such a good line.
He keeps saying, like, if I'm there, there's something that brought me there.
Yeah, he's like,
That's not
yeah, if I'm
correct,
at your
but-
doorstep, you probably did something to bring me there.
Yes.
That's how he rationalizes it. But she's upset and leaves. Is there anything more we should say about that part?
No.
I don't.
No,
I think
we
she just
just-
storms out because like he realizes he's like, yeah, that's pretty fucked up. I'm sorry.
Beefed it.
Just go to the last bit where he.
He calls the psychiatrist and leaves another message, and he's upset. But he decides to sit down and open up the dossier that he got for the target that he's supposed to kill while he's in that town. And he just opens it and goes, what fucking luck.
Yeah.
Dumb fucking luck.
Dumb fucking luck. Yeah. We realize it is Debbie's father. Because he works for the auto industry and he is about to testify against them for some kind of safety thing. I think it's implied.
A leaky sunroof on a Corvette.
Right.
Convertible.
And he's gonna turn state's witness against them basically for it. So you see Debbie's dad jogging down the street. Grocer is about to shoot him with like a sniper rifle from a van, and John Cusack comes flying down the street in a car and picks him up just as he's about to get shot. And gets Debbie's dad inside, and he's like, listen, there's a contract out in your life, and they even hired me to kill you. And he's like, what did I do to you? And he's like, it's not me. Why does everyone think it's personal? And he tosses him the file and explains that like it's your employer because you're going to testify against them and all this stuff. He tells him, he's like, I'm either saving you because like I'm in love with your daughter, or I have a newfound respect for life. And then it cuts to Dan Aykroyd saying the exact same thing. That guy is either in love with his daughter or has a newfound respect for life.
Funny.
It's so great. But yeah, so he goes back to Debbie's house with the dad, and then Debbie's inside, and he's like,
what are you doing here?
Yeah, and he's like, he starts explaining to her that like, I love you. I'm here to save your dad. Like, I need you guys to get upstairs. I'm going to fight these guys off. And he starts shooting at people like instantly.
Mm-hmm.
He gives Debbie like that. It's like a revolver with a scope. Yeah. Has a huge shootout that will blow right past. Because it's boring to talk about. It's just a shootout.
It's just a shootout, and like
Dan Aykroyd's being weird the whole time, like citing the Bible and scripture and shit to him.
Yeah, and the feds that have been doing basically nothing the whole movie show up and get immediately smoked,
immediately blown away. They were a waste of time. Yeah,
Rip Moses luck.
He eventually kills them all. Has a final fight with Grosser. They're arguing about the union. And
like if there would be meetings.
Yeah, he's like, will there be
what
meetings? And he goes, of course, we'll have lots of meetings. And he goes, no meetings, and keeps shooting at him.
Yeah.
And then they both run out of bullets, and he's like, okay, I'll make you a deal. I'll sell you a clip for like $10,000. He goes, okay, deal. And when they get up to go shake on it, Grosser's going to shoot him, but Martin picks up a TV and
smashes it,
comes around the corner and throws it on his head, and that's how he dies. It's a great death too. You just kind of see his body shake as he falls down from, I guess, being electrocuted.
Blunt force trauma.
Maybe it's just a blunt force trauma.
Who the fuck knows? He's got a TV on his fucking head.
It's a CRT TV.
Yeah,
to be
it's
clear.
a big ass TV.
So like back when TVs could kill you, like now it would fall on you and like
snap in two. Yeah.
Yeah, or like maybe bruise you up a little bit,
break a toe or something.
TVs were really big back then. I remember carrying like a 20-inch CRT monitor upstairs when I was like 12.
And that was the heaviest fucking thing you ever did in your life.
Your back hurt when you were 12?
Yeah, I hurt my back when I was 12
Jesus.
carrying a monitor up some stairs. I was like, I cannot believe I just did that. Oh my God. But I wanted to play video games, damn it.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I've been there.
So then he goes into the room where Debbie and her dad are holed up in the bathtub, and Martin's covered in blood, other people's blood.
Yeah.
Mostly. He did get shot also. And he gives her this monologue about how he's like, Debbie, I'm in love with you. And I know this might not be the right time, but will you marry me? You don't have to give me an answer right now. And you just hear her dad go, you got my blessing. And then Debbie just uses the gun to close the door on him.
And then they're in a car afterwards listening to a song.
Yeah, then they're driving away happily and the credits roll.
That's my one big complaint.
And then it plays Blister in the Sun by the Violent Femmes. I think this movie popularized that
my
song.
one complaint about this movie is it ends
too
abruptly.
Yeah. Let me run through some trivia before we run out of time here.
Did you know that they don't make them like they used to?
They just don't.
do not make them like they used
to.
This movie is technically a Disney movie, though it's not on Disney Plus. John Cusack and Jeremy Piven were actually friends in high school. They were
no
friends.
shit.
Yeah.
Aww.
That's cool.
I think Jeremy Piven's dad, owned a dance or drama theater stage.
Is that how he got into it?
John Cusack's dad taught there or something.
Oh, okay.
I think that's how they met each other or something. Yeah.
That's really cool, actually.
The soundtrack for the movie, which features a mix of popular and alternative songs from the 80s and 90s, was a huge hit.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's so good.
I would have bought that CD.
A lot of people did.
Is it streaming?
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure someone made a playlist on Spotify by now or Apple Music or whatever. But anyway, it was such a huge hit. It reached number 31 on the Billboard Top 100.
Nice.
And in fact, the studio put out a second volume because there were even more songs. In fact, there on the Wikipedia, there's here's a list of songs that didn't make it on the soundtrack but are in the movie. And then here are songs that are in the trailer that didn't make it on the soundtrack.
It's crazy.
Some of my favorite songs that appear on the soundtrack, though, some Jared cuts. Blister in the Sun by the Violent Femmes, Rudy Can't Fail by The Clash, Mirror in the Bathroom by English Beat, Mirror in the Bathroom, Under Pressure by David Bowie and Queen. Oh my God. I Can See Clearly Now, Johnny Nash, not Cash. Live and Let Die by Guns N' Roses. I have mixed opinions about that song, but the way they use it in
It's
this
good.
movie is awesome. And then also when he walks into the convenience store, when it's mid-song, it cuts to the Muzak version.
Yeah.
So clever. Love that bit. We Care a Lot by Faith No More. I was like headbanging when that came on. Cities and Dust by, is it Susie and the Banshees? Sious.
Yeah, Susie.
I always forget how to pronounce that. But yeah, that's a great song. I think Garbage did a cover of that too. That's really good. The Killing Moon by Echo and the Bunnymen, which I call the Donnie Darko song, but like fucking love that song. It's so good. And of course, Monkey Gone to Heaven by the Pixies, where we got the title for our podcast here.
It's so fun having to explain that every single time to a new person, by the way.
It's about a song about a guy that has a movie.
I was like, it's a Pixie reference. And then like, oh.
It's one of their more popular songs. Yeah. So Tom Jankiewicz, the guy who wrote the original story for this movie,
Yes.
he was a native of Michigan. And he penned this story for Grosse Pointe Blank after receiving his 10th high school reunion invitation while working at Big Lots and as a substitute teacher. He named many of the characters after friends of his from high school and people he knew at the time, including a manager from Big Lots. John Cusack's character in the movie is based on a rumor at his high school about a student that went on to become a hitman.
I love
I tell you, dude, I told you that's exactly how this shit got pitched.
Yeah. In 2013, Tom was invited to a screening of Grosse Pointe Blank at the University of San Bernardino. It was like his brother's alma mater. And during a Q&A session after the film, Tom collapsed and was later pronounced dead after being
What?
rushed to the hospital. He was 49 years old.
Oh my God.
Rest in peace, Tom.
What happened?
Don't know.
Heart attack?
Probably had a heart attack.
That's insane.
Oh my God.
Holy shit.
Can you imagine going to that Q&A
That's so sad.
then he
And like,
just-
I love this movie. And then,
and then the writer of the movie just dies
that's
right there? Yeah.
wild.
It's fucking freaky.
I know. I was pretty shocked when I read that. I didn't want to tell you beforehand because I wanted to get your reaction on
Yeah,
pod.
I'm shocked.
I want to plug Elizabeth Gear's great write-up of Grosse Pointe Blank over at Bright Wall Dark Room called The Man Who Vanished. It is a very fun personal essay that reminisces about high school and the film's infinitely quotable lines and how hot John Cusack is. I'll have a link in the description for the episode, but it's at brightwalldarkroom.com, and it's called The Man Who Vanished. It inspired a lot of, what I came here to say about the movie. But it was I love reading like write-ups about
Yeah,
movies, especially
I watch video essays for the exact same reason.
yeah. But it was really nice. I really like reading it. Somebody on Blue Sky posted it, and I just happened to read it because I was like, "Oh, we're going to be covering that soon."
He's on Blue Sky, by the way. John Cusack is.
He was big on Twitter
Yeah,
too.
he was huge
Oh,
on
was he?
Twitter.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Do you know what he's like on social media?
I don't, but he was saying how much he respected Hackman, Gene Hackman.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So,
Wild. We'll talk about it later.
about Gene Hackman dying. Okay, so here's the thing. John Cusack is famous in the last 10 years or so for being kind of insane on social media,
Oh,
but like mostly in a good way.
kind of like Ridley
No.
Scott.
He's like really outspoken and progressive.
Oh, okay,
and
that's
like
good.
he's like always
Yeah.
going to protest.
Tight.
He got in like a fight with some cops during Black Lives Matter.
Fuck yeah.
Because he
Yeah.
went there to cover it, and like the cops were being aggressive, and he was like, there's like footage of it too. I remember it coming out, and he's like, "Fuck you, asshole." He's like getting really into it with the cops, and they don't know it's John Cusack,
That's tight.
But he's like really outspoken on social media, and he like will argue with anybody.
Oh yeah,
It's
he's like, that's the thing. I noticed
he's kind of
mostly
crank.
just fighting.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
He's-
Yeah, just
But
like
for a good
Paul
cause.
not Paul Verhoeven, the guy who did Heat.
Michael
Michael
Mann.
Mann.
Yeah, you said Michael Mann's kind of a crank on
Oh,
online.
you're thinking Paul Schrader.
Paul Schrader.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yes.
Paul Schrader.
has a Facebook account where
Yeah.
he just will talk about everything.
and Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott's definitely a fucking crank.
I didn't know Ridley Scott did that.
Dog, anytime you talk about historical inaccuracies on his films, he'll go on fucking Twitter and talk about
That's
like
funny.
you don't know, you weren't there. Fuck
You don't know your shit.
Yeah,
I'm Ridley Scott. I'm older than anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
No one's older than me,
Bro,
Fuck you.
I watched Gladiator 2.
I've heard lots of disappointing things. You have to go into it, I guess, like really expecting to just like.
Dude, you have to watch the first one. It's a direct fucking sequel. It's
Well,
crazy.
Who doesn't go into two without seeing
It's
one?
been
though?
20 fucking years.
I know, but
I mean, I've
people
seen
love
the
that
first
movie.
one, but I haven't seen the first one in like the last 8
Oh,
fucking
you need
years.
to like be fresh on it. you're
Yes.
saying. Okay.
And they, but here's
Like
the thing
I
is,
always assume you need to see a movie before the sequel.
Ridley Scott like doesn't trust people had seen that fucking movie to I'm so sorry to have derailed
Yeah,
this.
that's fine. It's fine.
To have seen Gladiator 2, so he puts a bunch of shit from the first movie to pad the time for the second one. Hack. He's a fucking hack. I've gone from loving his movies to fucking hating him. Like it's
He's
crazy.
had a rough end period here, and I've even kind of quit watching him, to be honest with you.
I like
I have
Napoleon.
no interest
I actually
in
really
watching
like Napoleon.
I was just gonna say I have
wanna
no interest in
watch that.
watching because I'm worried I'm gonna be
Bro,
so disappointed.
Dude, he's a cuck the whole time. He goes to war because he's a cuck. It's great. It's fucking awesome.
Oh my God.
Josephine.
He does insane shit too. He does insane shit. He's fucking wild. He was Hitler before Hitler was Hitler.
I thought Napoleon was mostly good though.
No, he
No.
was good in the way that he was a strategist that people admired.
Yeah.
So even like in War and Peace, there's a part where this guy is like, everyone's talking about, is Napoleon the Antichrist? And he's like, dude, Napoleon is my hero because he's just like so good at what he's doing.
Yeah.
It's bad.
It's all bad.
It's all bad. But he's so good at
I don't know enough about it.
I learned
obviously, but, like,
everything I learned about Napoleon was from War and Peace.
He took advantage of the French Revolution, and I don't think that whatchamacallit, his goals were
Went too far in a
of the
few places.
best place
Intentions,
for
yeah.
the French.
Okay.
And then
Did he fight off the Russians though from invading?
he
too, or
fought
something?
Russians.
He
fought,
went to Russia.
Yeah, he fought
Oh,
that's right,
that's
Austrians.
right, that's
he
what it
fought
is, yeah.
Hungarians.
He just
Yeah.
was like, let's
He was
go.
just fucking fighting.
Yeah.
He wouldn't stop fighting.
Man,
And
that's
the people
funny.
loved him. They were like, he's brilliant.
He's so good at this.
I get a chance to fight for him. Like, dude, he re-enters France after being exiled, and like the people, like there are people there that are there to kill him, and he's like, he says some shit like, "Do you not know of my acclaim? Have you not fought by my side? Am I not an honorable man?" And all the guys that are there to shoot him are like, "Nah, we ride with you."
Actually,
cool.
okay.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, no, he's a definite villain, but
yeah.
we're just
But like a one that's actually like, well, he's complicated, you know, where people want to say that about Hitler, and it's like, okay, but he actually
No,
sucks.
he was.
though.
Yeah, he was doing some real bad stuff.
yeah, bad.
Bad guy.
Anything we should wrap up on about Grosse Pointe Blank?
No, they don't make them like they used to. I hate
Yeah.
to keep saying that, but it's fucking true. There is a sincere scarcity of movies that are like this on this day.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it is a thing. I don't.
I think a lot of movies try to be witty like this, and they're trying too hard. Is the other problem too?
I can see the modern day version of this, and it's not good.
Yeah, and it stars Ryan Reynolds, and it's not funny. Actually,
It doesn't even have to be him because it could.
I know.
Because they did. I could see a version of this not with Ryan Gosling. Oh, sorry, with Ryan Gosling instead
That'd
of
be great.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah,
I'd watch that.
Yeah, you would, but like, would it be good?
Yes.
Like, is Ryan
to me-
Gosling a guy who can do stunts in a non-cutaway way, or is that just hold on? No.
Do we need to
just-
cover the Nice Guys?
No, just listen.
Oh, Nice Guys is so
that was literally going to be
good.
my thing.
Okay.
I was going to reference the Nice Guys,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I was like, well, that's kind of too different from the premise of this film. But I can that's why I was thinking of Ryan Gosling because like kind of a similar build, similar face. He's got good charisma, all that stuff. He's got everything, but
he's able to be funny too,
He's
which is
so
really
funny.
impressive.
no,
yeah.
I know he's the GOAT. He's great.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is Hollywood or modern day filmmaking in the action space too poisoned by what is expected to do something simple?
Yes.
Exactly.
Unequivocally, yes.
And that
Yeah.
and that's why I think that if they tried to remake this film, and even if they didn't go with Ryan Reynolds and they went with like Gosling or some other like charming
Yeah.
guy who can also do action, I think it would still fail. And a good example is Fall Guy did not do well.
Yeah.
You know,
Major studios, I think, are too afraid. Like all their movies have to be big tentpole movies with like overblown budgets.
it's such a
massive
pandemic
four
and-
quadrant appeal. Yeah. And like they won't just have like, oh, we're going to open a smaller subsidiary studio like Buena Vista Pictures
Yeah.
and make like $15 million movies, you know, that like don't star anything major, but like Minnie Driver, Alan Arkin shows up for a cameo, and John Cusack, you know, like those aren't people commanding like $8-10 million a role.
Yeah.
Like it's just people that'll show up and make a great movie. And you know, and it'll make like double its budget, and it'll do great on home media.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like the market is different now. We get like straight to streaming movies that are just garbage.
that are directed by the
And-
Russos.
Yeah, it's like
They've got another one coming out on Netflix in like a week.
of course they do. I never even saw The Gray Man, but like that kind of came to mind because I was
Yeah.
like, was The Gray Man good? Because everyone said it sucked, but the cast like on paper was
That's great.
awesome.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, maybe it'll be good. And then the reviews in it were so vile, I didn't even go near it. And also
Yeah.
it's like 3 hours long too.
I don't know.
I just can't even touch that. You know, just like if it was at least controversial, like there were people standing it and other people saying it sucked, I'll dive in and be like,
Yeah.
okay, well, where will I come out on this? But no, it was like a universal pan. Yeah,
I think the only genre that's doing this well is horror.
I agree.
It's the only genre that's doing this well.
Easier
Because I hate to bring it back to Smile 2, but that is exactly what I'm talking
That's called
about.
a callback, baby.
That was perfect too.
I didn't plan it, but I'm it's like poetry, it rhymes. But like Naomi Scott is not like a big name, but she's not a small name either, and she's doing a lot with this film. The movie had a modest budget. It was shot well. It was entertaining. It did what it was supposed to do, and it grossed, quadruple of what its budget was.
Yeah.
Horror is the only thing that is doing this, I think, right? Because I don't think, what was the last comedy that came out?
That's the thing. They don't make comedies anymore.
Yeah.
And if they are, they're shoehorned into another genre like action. And like this kind of does that, but just a little
But the
teensy
thing is that
tiny
it's like
bit.
a black comedy, so it's like, oh, it's a dark comedy.
It's
so
from the
it's like-
90s.
yeah.
It's from the 90s, which we had
And it was
Adam
revolutionary for like blending genres. at the time,
Exactly.
too,
Yeah.
Like that's because what I'm trying to think. When did Men in Black come out? Was that 96?
Was it 97? I think it may have
And
been.
that's an action comedy.
It may have been this year or the year after.
Right.
Yeah.
We've got all of the fucking Billy Madison shits, the Adam Sandler stuff. That's all comedy. We have rom-coms. Like this was the era of all of that stuff because I don't know what we were coming out of, but it's just I remember growing up in the 90s and seeing a bunch of either action blockbusters, rom-coms, shit like that.
Yep.
Right. And I don't know. I guess it was the fucking MCU shit that
Yeah.
really started.
I really think that
And I
was
like
it.
that stuff. That's the problem.
I know.
But it's like I feel like it did so well that other studios were like, well, we got to do this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We got to do this. And
You're familiar with like when people refer to like the Marvelification of
the
humor.
enshittification of stuff. Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah,
that's,
yeah.
That's a separate thing.
Right.
But like where it's like
He's right behind me, isn't he? Yeah.
right, the Josh Whedonisms kind of
Yeah.
thing too, where it's like, well, that just happened, kind of bullshit. That was popularized in the mainstream by Marvel movies. Josh Whedon having written a lot of the early ones, not anymore.
Yeah, I know.
But like, oof, maybe we could use another writer of his caliber, even though he sucks shit. But yeah, it's like we don't have enough unique voices anymore either. Like it's the same slop being written and designed by the same people, and then it feels like executives have a lot more say now too
Yeah,
than they
100%.
used to. Unfortunately, it's a whole thing. Why do we try to diagnose the industry on every episode?
You do.
Because we care.
I know, but like we're
We
not going
care.
to fix anything, and no one's listening to this that has any effect on it. We should just talk about the movies that we like.
Well, it's hard.
I feel like we always spiral to this place, and I'm just like,
Maybe it's just me. Maybe like because I feel like it's usually me that brings it up. I don't mean to.
no,
either.
it's both of us.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like, oh man, we got nothing new to say about it though, too.
No. Well, hey, it's an indie film won best picture.
You know what? It did. And that's what we need
And
to be
that's why
focusing
you
on.
do what you do.
It's really important.
Because the Oscars are back, baby, and they rule.
No.
Is that the takeaway?
Yeah, that's it. The Oscars are back. And you know what else is back? Smoking. I'm smoking now.
No.
I'm 35. I'm lighting up.
What?
Let's pick up a pack of smokes.
Crazy.
All right, and on that,
Well, folks, that's been our show. Thank you for listening to Debaser. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to us on your podcast app, not mine, and follow us on social media by searching for @DebaserPod. Our guest today has been Kourtney.
Hi.
Kourtney, where can people find you? Do you have anything to plug?
I'm on Blue Sky at Kourtzilla.
Hell yeah, Kourtzilla with a K.
Kourtzilla with a K.
Hell yeah,
It's open. Everything else closed.
yeah. You cannot see our baby.
Don't look at my baby.
My wonderful co-host, as always, is Will Taylor. Will, where can people find you, and what do you have to plug?
I'm also on Blue Sky at willswitch-engage.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Nathan. And also I'm on Instagram. But hey, Flashes came out, and hopefully
yeah.
the Instagram competitor that Blue Sky does.
I need to get it. Yeah.
I still need to see if you use the same email for both Blue Sky and Flashes, that you can't.
I saw that.
What a goof.
That's why I didn't get it right away. That's
Yeah.
right.
Same. I don't know if they
Yeah.
fixed that or not, but I'm not making another fucking email. It's not
I think they're
happening.
working to fix it.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Because
Well,
I saw Juniper talking about it.
Once
yeah.
that's fixed, fuck you, Instagram. I'm gone.
1,000%. Yeah, because
I'll miss the reels, but I get all that time back. I get
exactly.
That's true.
I find myself doing reel binges, and I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? I don't feel
Dopamine.
good when I'm done, but it
Dopamine.
doesn't even feel good in the moment. I'm like, I think of all the things I could have done while I was doing that reel binge.
Sure.
I'm like, I would have been happier if I did those things.
Yeah.
Because for a while there, when the baby was really young, it was a good way to kill a few minutes because like
Yeah.
I couldn't do anything else. But now I'm like, I need to get this off my phone.
I do it when I shit. So
It's shitting time.
it is shit. When it's shitting time, is real in time, baby. I should be shitting. I be scrolling.
Well, for my co-host Will Taylor, I'm Jared Rusk. Take care and goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Debaser, a film podcast, is hosted and produced by Will Taylor and Jared Rusk. The show is mixed and edited by Jared Rusk. The theme song is also by Jared Rusk. The cover art is by Dog Bites Back on Instagram. Special thanks to Haley and Kourtney for their love and understanding. Check out debaserpod.com for links to all of our episodes and to find us on social media like Blue Sky, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you for listening, and take care of each other.